You may have noticed an increase in your insurance rates recently, and today's guest has more on that. We're joined in studio with Chris Cook with MLL Insurance. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Introduce yourself to our viewers. Tell us more about MLL.
Thanks. Myers, MLL stands for Myers, Lombardini, and Lemansky Insurance. We're an independent insurance agency, and we have been in business 45 plus years, give or take. I've been doing this about 9 now, so having a lot of fun.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm excited for the viewers to hear the things that you've got in store for us today. I know you offer auto, business, life, and homeowners, and we'll focus on homeowners today. Why don't you start by telling us the state of our current insurance market?
Okay, great question. I think everybody's probably noticing that their insurance rates are going up. I think there's a lot of factors that come into play there, and we like to educate and let people know the reasons why they are going up.
Sure.
Big things are building costs, building materials. They're really going up. The cost of that is going up, which makes the replacement cost of a home or rebuild a home is going to cost more. Fixing a car parts are more expensive now. So, those things are driving up the cost to replace a car and a home, which in turn drives up, you have to increase the replacement cost of the home or the coverage on the home, which brings up your premium. So I think that those couple things are really, and the weather too, are really driving up kind of some of the premiums from the insurance.
Right, yeah, you did mention that some of the rough storms we've had over the last couple of years has increased that as well. Yeah. Yes,
Michigan, not nationwide, but Michigan was hit hard last year.
Right.
And I think these insurance companies budget for a certain amount of storms every year, and we had a lot last year. So
right.
They're paying out more claims, and unfortunately, that's somewhat kind of drives up some of the price and the premium too.
Right. Well, we all want to have the right protection for our home, that's for sure. And so what suggestions would you have for someone who wanted to ensure that they've got the accurate amount of coverage for their home?
Another good question. We talked earlier, really reaching out to your insurance agent and having a conversation with them to say, hey, do I have the proper coverage? The cost of building materials, these insurance companies, they do increase the coverage incrementally. Hopefully your policy does that automatically. That's another great question. But you want to make sure there's enough coverage so that your home, if something happens, is covered. Some things people don't think about, which has really come into play this past few years, is like a detached garage or a pole barn. Making sure that the cost to replace that or rebuild that, just like the building materials, has doubled from 5 years ago.
Right.
And people don't think about that. That's really kind of our job, right? And it's good for everyone to realize that they need to know what their coverage is and what they have, and have that conversation to make sure that it's good enough for the different things that they do have.
Right, absolutely. Again, taking it back to having a conversation with your agent. Yes. Well, let's talk about extended coverage. What if a homeowner has made some improvements and maybe they want to get some extended coverage on those things?
Yes. So most policies and most people have an extended replacement cost. Not all do, but that's one of the good questions for the agent. Some of the companies we work with, the extended replacement cost is something we add to every home policy, but you can add a guaranteed home replacement cost, which is it's better coverage, right? The extended replacement cost might be capped at 25% or 50%. But having that on your home policy is essential for the time that we're in right now, right? Replacement costs have gone up, and I'm sure in the last 3 or 4 years, people have been caught in the middle where there's been a claim and they didn't have enough coverage. So having one of those 2 endorsements on the policy is huge. Also letting people know that you put a deck on the house, you finished your basement. Hey, I got some solar panels. Are they covered, or how are they covered? Sometimes those are common questions, and it's good to reach out when you're having a conversation with your insurance agent to make sure that you have the proper coverage.
So Chris, we're rolling into the spring here, and Michigan is a little known for wet basements. How might that impact a homeowner?
Yes, if you have you get water in your basement, the water and the coming off the eaves trough, or you get the snow's melting. If you have water in your basement, A homeowner always wants to make sure they have water backup coverage if you have a drain in the basement or a sump pump. So that coverage would come into play on the home policy if the sump pump fails and you get water in your basement. So we don't want that, right?
Right.
Or if water comes up out of that drain, that would cause some damage, or could potentially cause some damage in the basement, and you would need to have a sump pump or water backup coverage on the homeowner's policy.
Right, absolutely. I could imagine if someone hasn't had to make a homeowner's insurance claim in a long time, they don't really know, they're not prepared for a catastrophe. So it's good to make sure you're covered fully.
Yes. I don't think people look at them enough.
Right.
I think it's common, myself included.
Sure.
It's a time like now to be able to ask that agent. And if there's not an agent out there, if you don't have an agent, sometimes people get things online now. That's, I guess, where I would come into play. Give me a call. I'd love to see if I can help.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you share your contact information with the viewers so they know where to find you?
Sounds good. Chris Cook. Good number is 517-351-9117.
Well, thanks for being here, Chris. This is great information for the viewers.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. It may be the right time to take a closer look at your homeowner's insurance policy. Give Chris Cook a call today.